All right, everybody, welcome. This is episode 18 of Let's Grab a Beer. And as I did last episode, there are going to be no gripes, mids, or hypes. It's just going to be just us having conversation with a beer. Obviously, there are set topics. This one, we're going to be talking about Rumble and small creators, the new small creator program that's expected to be out in the next couple of months. Chris Pavlovski's push to make Rumble not a political only platform and have other content be brought in, and also the prospects of Dr. Disrespect coming in. I wasn't planning to do a Let's Grab a Beer day. If anything, I was planning to stream some, like maybe a Once Human, or I was just gonna chill and watch a movie in my living room. But Daramuth was jackasses. Daramuth made a tweet earlier today that I responded to, and it brought up a conversation about small creators, Rumble, and the prospect of big creators being signed either with or without contracts. So it sparked an idea that I had. Well, not really an idea. These are thoughts I've had for a while, and I'm just gonna say what I think on my mind and see what you guys think, and you guys can agree and disagree. Daramuth and I had a great conversation on X, and then the people that joined in to my poll that I promoted on X have also generated a great conversation that I want to continue. As always, I record the episode first while live. So there are people in live chat right now that are anxiously waiting my words of wisdom and infinite knowledge. I know it's a joke, but hey, they're curious to hear what I have to say. And then at the end of the recording, I invite any of my viewers to come in and join into Rumble Studios to call and discuss either the topics we talked about for this episode or whatever topics you want. Those who are watching this video, this recording right now, you guys aren't going to see what happened before I started recording or what happens after, which is the call-in conversation with the viewers. This is going to be specifically about the topics I'm going to discuss, and that's it. So if that's all you want, then that's all you can get. If you want to see the whole thing, you either join us live, go back and see the old VOD, or join us live, which obviously if you're seeing this now, you can't join live because we're already started and it's already completed. And this is all unedited, unscripted for the recording. The only jump cuts you see are because my camera can only record in 30-minute intervals. I do not know why. I've looked through all these settings. I've Googled to try to get it all set up so that way it can just record nonstop until I'm done, but it won't. So that's the only time you're going to see cuts. As you see, I was just annoyed earlier. I don't know if you could hear over this mic. The stream might have heard it. There's a road behind me, and everybody with their loud ass vehicles love to gun it through there as quickly as possible, making loud, obnoxious noises all the time, and it just pisses me. This is why I hate living in cities. I want to live out in the country. I hate people. That's what it's all going to boil down to. So I'm going to actually respond. I don't usually respond to recordings while I'm live, but Goffo's here, Goffo just dropped something in chat. I'm gonna respond. No, Goffo, I am still live. I'm just doing the recording now, and then we'll get into just talking with you guys in chat in a little bit. And I'm wasting enough time on the intro. I also grab a beer from a local company. I don't do Budweiser, Miller, Coors, or anything like. Don't worry, I'm not a microbrewery hippie or what do they call them? Not hippies, hipsters. I like promoting local companies, especially if they have good morals and values. So I try to find companies that I either never heard of or I saw recently and was impressed with something they said or did, and I try to promote them, and that's what this is. This is maybe a beer you can grab in this area, like this one. The beer of the episode is Goat Island Brewing Company Blood Orange Berliner Weissen. I probably butchered the name of that. It is an Alabama company, so if you guys are from that region, you probably already know what I'm talking about and probably know if this is a delicious or non-delicious beer or good beer. This is my first time having Goat Island. I usually do a lot of Georgia beers because I'm in Georgia. So we'll see how this turns out. And in fact, we'll go on and crack into it. I give it a rating of 1 out of 6 because it's almost always these smaller companies come in 6-packs. And 6 being the best score the beer can get, 1 being the worst. Well, actually, no. I gave Foul Line's Old Toby a 0 because it was disgusting. And it just made me feel gross on the inside. So that's the first beer I gave such a low rating. What influences the rating for each beer is flavor. If I find it refreshing, what I think it would pair well with, if I get through 6 packs before the end of the recording, all that encourages the rating. And if I let my wife try it, she is not a fan of beer, but if she likes it, then that also plays a role into the review as well. It's not bad. First sip, I got a little hint of like cleaner, and I'm not entirely sure if that's because my glass wasn't rinsed out enough after I washed it, or if that's the beer itself. I guess with the next can we'll pop open, I'll drink that and see if I get that same taste. But initially it was a good taste, and then after I swallowed, it tastes like dish soap, an aftertaste of dish soap. So to be fair to the company, the next can I'll pop up or I'll drink that, see if that flavor's still there, and let you guys know. I don't know if it's just like I said, my glass hasn't been rinsed out enough and I'm tasting dish soap. I mean, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It means I actually clean my glass, but it just ruins the taste of the beer. But today's episode, by the way, guys, I think I've already mentioned this in the recording. We are going to be discussing small creators and Rumble. Chris Pavlovski's push to bring more non-political content and viewers to Rumble, so Rumble can get out of the stigma that it is a politics-only platform. And what I feel or don't feel he's doing well or not well with that. And then we're also going to talk about the small creator program. I don't know if I said that already. And what I think it should involve in some opinions I have both on Rumble's handling of small creators and the small creators themselves. Not the ones I'm going to speak ill of, I'm not going to list by name. The ones I actually respect and praise, I will mention them by name because I think they're worth mentioning. Like Darren Muth, Goffo, Amasaku, JFG, Patty's Parlor, Noobs a lot of people like them. I respect them. So if you hear me mention them by name, unless somebody absolutely pisses me off, that means I like them. If I really do not respect this person at all, I will go ahead and name drop them. But you will also know they're not name dropping them because I respect them. I'm name dropping them because I don't respect them at all. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this topic, and the first thing is we're gonna talk about High Ungodly. The first thing we're gonna talk about is what initially started my idea for the next episode of Let's Grab a Beer. Is Chris Pavlovski made a post on the 21st of November. He says everyone is sleeping on Dan Bongino. Bongino's number 3 in the podcast charts without YouTube. Everyone who thinks they need to multi-stream or only stream on YouTube hasn't realized you can dominate with Rumble alone. MAGA is on Rumble. Don't sleep on half America. And this first, I understand and respect why Chris is talking about Dan Bongino and the gains Dan has been making in the podcast world, because it's huge. It's fantastic that Rumble is actually pulling these numbers in general. If we ignore what kind of content it is, that the fact that Rumble's pulling these numbers and Dan Bongino is one of the top reasons for that is fantastic and incredible and awesome for Rumble. And I congratulate Chris and his team and Dan for what they were able to accomplish. I firmly believe Rumble is a huge key component for this election cycle we just went through, and we couldn't done a lot of what we did without them. So I'm, first of all, very happy. So I'm not complaining that Chris is promoting it and Dan's success. It's just an observation that I and many other creators and viewers have had is that Chris and others at Rumble, at the team at Rumble, constantly say Rumble is not a political only platform. But the only time you ever really see Chris talk about the successes about Rumble, it almost always, not always, almost always involves a political creator, or I guess political creator, lack for a better term, commentator or podcaster or news channel. Dan Bongino almost always is that one, rightfully so, because he's almost always dominating. So I'm not telling Chris that he needs to stop celebrating these victories, But when he makes a comment that says something as without YouTube, or everyone who thinks they need to multi-stream or only stream on YouTube hasn't realized you can dominate with Rumble alone. Everyone is sleeping on Rumble. When he makes comments like that, it's like, all right, Chris, look, I love you, man. I love what you're trying to do. I love that Dan Bongino's so successful right now. But how can you keep telling us that Rumble's not a politics only platform and then make a post like that? First of all, I personally think if you're trying to make it anywhere as a creator, regardless of the category you're trying to create in, whether it's politics, gaming, hobbies, just general podcasting, how-tos, anything like that, if you're planning to make it as a creator in that, you need to multi-stream. It's because you should never ever pigeonhole yourself into one area. You should not lock yourself in, because one, everything is run by man, and everything that's run by humans is bound to fail eventually. I mean, look at this country. The founding fathers had an amazing idea. It wasn't perfect. We started building into the direction of making this country perfect, and it's in recent years just dropped and started to decline drastically. YouTube was fantastic at one point. Twitter was the safe haven, or was great for free speech for a while, became a safe haven for leftists. And then you saw Jack Dorsey lost it all, and now Elon runs it. And us on our side of things thinks Twitter's doing fantastic, but it's a matter of time before something else overturns Twitter. Same thing can happen to Rumble. I don't want anything bad, or I'm not wishing anything ill on Chris Pavlovsky in any way, shape, or form, but something can and will eventually happen to Chris, or even just Rumble alone, that will cause Rumble to fall into the wrong hands, and Rumble will just degrade and be just as trashy as YouTube and Twitch. It's just natural. It is a course of humanity. Anything a human touches is bound to degrade and fall apart over time. How quick that will happen, I don't know. Again, God forbid, hopefully this doesn't happen. Something can happen to Chris tomorrow where he's just, God forbid, not on this earth anymore, and Rumble gets taken over by a bunch of nut jobs. Rumble is a publicly traded company. That's how Twitter was able to fall into Elon's hands, because he was able to buy enough shares to start strongholding or manhandling Twitter into the point where he can take over. I guess maybe that's not the way to say it, but you get my point. And that is probably part of the reason why Elon's got Twitter private, because he doesn't want that to happen to him. Rumble had no choice to go public, but it opens them up for something similar to happen to them someday. Now, I'm not that intelligent in the world of trading and market shares and shareholders and all that. Maybe Chris is predicting something like that to happen to him someday, and he's got protections in place to ensure that doesn't happen. But until I got the warm, fuzzy feeling, that's not a guarantee. So if you're going to make it as a creator, hopefully to make it as a career someday, so you can rely on just the content you create to supplement your income, you need to put your content as many platforms as possible. Now, you just heard me say that I multi-stream on Twitch, Kick, X, YouTube, and Rumble right now. But at the end of the year, all those other platforms, with the exception of Rumble, will be pretty much all but non-existent in my content. I'm mainly doing it right now to gather information to see what people's claims about Rumble versus these other platforms are, if they're true or not, based on my personal experience. But the reason why I'm sticking with Rumble is I'm not doing Rumble to be rich and famous and make lots of money, and to the point where all I do is make content and I don't have to worry about working another day in my life. I'm on Rumble because I believe Rumble is absolutely key to the success of this election cycle that we just had. And I would like to see Rumble continue to succeed in that regard. And I believe in their stance on freedom of speech. I know people can say, but the chat censor. Well, I mean, if you guys want Rumble to be on App Store, which so many of you complain about, they got to fall in line with the chat censor. You say, well, Twitch chat doesn't ban certain words that Rumble does. Well, Twitch also gets a free pass compared to the other platforms because Google doesn't like Rumble. So, and I just saw Goffo just says he's forever nuked on Twitch and YouTube. So I should add, if you're able to multi-stream to these platforms, you absolutely should. Can you succeed on Rumble alone? Yeah, you can. I want to put a spiked strip across the road back there. Take me to the country. Good Lord, give me a place to live in the country. I don't have to be around people anymore. Where was I at? Yes, you can absolutely make it big on Rumble someday. Maybe not, and it won't be as quick as the other platforms, but it can happen. Um, and that's where we're going to get into the small creator portion of this conversation. But before I do that, I'm going to read off my response in another tweet I made. So my response to Chris directly, well, I mean directly, like I actually walked up to Chris and talked to him about this. I mean, I responded directly to his tweet. I said, "That's great. I'm happy for Dan and Rumble, but this is what I've been saying, or we've been saying. People sleep on Rumble because at 1 minute you say Rumble is more than politics, but the other minute you brag about Rumble's success, rightfully so, with Dan and Crowder, both political podcasters. This constantly shows the only success you can expect to have as a creator on Rumble, as a podcaster specific on Rumble, is as a podcaster, specifically a political one. Please don't get me wrong. I'm very excited about the direction that you're heading with gaming on Rumble and the new emphasis you're placing in gaming, but there are little to no success stories in gaming or any other categories outside of politics. Till that changes, Rumble will always be viewed as a political platform, and no other creator will take it seriously. That's why people keep sleeping on Rumble. Now, I personally do not think Chris should just ditch and abandon politics at all. I am not calling for that in any way, shape, or form. He absolutely should celebrate anytime Dan Bongino or Crowder start taking these top spots around the world. But if that's the only time he brags about successes and that's all his focus and energy is going to be at, people are going to constantly assume that's the only thing that Rumble cares about is politics. Because again, without what Rumble was able to provide, we would not have the ability to have these conversations we have right now, and we wouldn't have been as successful as we were in the election. Let me see. I'm also quote tweeting him, which I guess I didn't bookmark that. I did bookmark somebody's response to my quote tweet. I'm not going to mention this person by name because I don't really have a lot of respect for them. But I mean, obviously, if you guys see my tweet, you probably know who I'm going to talk about. So I quote tweeted Chris and made this very long, rambling post about why people keep sleeping on Rumble and why people assume Rumble is a politics-only platform. So I summarized that post real quick because I realized how long, and some people did read it all the way, some people didn't. I also summarized it to make it easier for people like me that if I see a really long post, unless it's really interesting, I'm not going to read the entire thing. So I made a summary post where I quote tweeted and said, in fact, let me drop this in chat for y'all to see. Oh my word, this mouse is trash. It should be on all. Here's the link to the post that I'm about to refer to. If you guys want to check it out. Those who are in the VOD, I'll provide these posts in the description and the pinned comment down below so you guys can read it yourselves. I used to do screenshots, but I always forget where to put them. And I don't. Part of the reason why I'm not a successful creator is I don't have time to put thought and effort into my edits. So part of the reason why this is a Lady Z podcast where it's basically unedited. So I said the bottom line up front, which is I said bluff. I know I didn't know about bluff until I joined the military, so I don't know if everybody on the outside know about bluff. But bottom line up front version of this incoherent rant is this: one, the common belief about Rumble videos that it is only a political platform. That's the only way you will see success as a creator on it. Two, this belief is confirmed by the successes of Rumble being measured only in its political content, as in posts of big numbers in Bongino, Crowder, and election streams. Three, I lost my own rant. I got lost in my own rant and didn't even touch the basis of why I provided my screenshots below. Which led to this conversation with this individual that was responding to me. I hate how Twitter does. This person, what just happened? This person responded to me. Uh, So this individual is accusing Rumble of not caring about small creators, all because their personal success isn't going as well as they want. They were expecting by the base of, and this is going to be a big theme of what I'm about to talk about, is I think Rumble suffers with a severe entitlement issue, which is something I see commonly amongst the left and millennial generations. Certain people feel like they're entitled to certain things for whatever made up reason in their own head. If I'm being too harsh, I'm sorry. It's just what I see. But this person concludes basically off our conversation that we had that Rumble doesn't care about small creators because one, he's not doing as well as he thinks he should be. Two, he doesn't see the ad revenue he believes he should see, which is ironic because he says I bought into Rumble because Rumble sold the promise of ad revenue. Which he did admit to getting ad revenue. You can argue ad revenue isn't that great on Rumble. I already did a long episode of Let's Grab a Beer discussing why I believe Rumble's ad revenue isn't as good as I think it is for creators, especially like us. But he's complaining about the way it came off of is that he believes Rumble sold this promise of ad revenue, and he doesn't feel like he's getting that ad revenue. Which is bullshit because he showed in his own screenshot that he actually, in fact, is getting ad revenue. So Rumble is upholding that promise, and he's holding Rumble hostage, basically accountable for something that companies are refusing to support. So he thinks it's Rumble's fault that companies aren't providing the ad revenue he deems he is justified in receiving. And if hopefully he sees this, if he thinks I'm misinterpreting what I said, he's more than welcome to defend himself. But I tried to be reasonable with him, but his post became more and more entitled. One of the things I pointed out to him is like, you talk about your lack of success on Rumble, but yet you disappeared for a while from streaming, and not holding this against them. Personal things come up. Everybody has lives. Things interrupt and interfere with our desire to content create. Plus, he admitted himself he didn't make a Twitter until very recently, like incredibly recently, and he's been streaming on Rumble since March of last year. So minimum, March of last year. One thing is I see a lot, and this is what I was going to talk about, I was talking with Darmouth in our conversation on Twitter today. But before I get into that, I don't know how much longer this recording has because I can't read the timer from here. So I'm going to go stop the recording and restart it, and then we're going to pick up where we left off. Hi, yeah, did. We had less than 7 minutes left in that before the recording is going to stop on its own. So I'm glad I went to go check. It did. I love you, bud, but I can't scratch your butt right now. Sorry. Yeah. So I was talking to Darmouth, and one of the things I noticed about a lot of these creators complaining about how they think Rumble doesn't care about small creators for X, Y, Z reasons. For the love of fucking God. For whatever reason they made up in their own head, a lot of these creators I noticed do little to no work into their own content. It's literally just them playing a video game and very rarely responding to chat at all. They look half awake, barely no energy at all, and I'm on to talk because I almost have no energy in my streams either. And they're never promoting their content ever. Absolutely never. If they're on Twitter engaging with communities around gaming or whatever category they're in, or Rumble, it's always complaining about favoritism of Rumble, view botting of Rumble, how Rumble doesn't care about small creators because they're not succeeding well and they're not getting featured as much as they think of. But again, you never see them promoting themselves. And this is where my personal issue with people like that is, how are you going to expect somebody else to invest in your content if you're not willing to invest in it yourself at all? Why are you going to constantly expect Rumble to give you a free handout if you're not willing to put in the work for your own content? I have no respect for people like that. Now, again, what I told Daramoth, there's a difference between those people and and the people that are complaining about issues that Rumble does have, because they either A, have valid criticisms, or B, even if I don't personally think their criticisms are valid, they're at least offering solutions, and they're also actively trying to grow their own content and as much as physically possible themselves within their limitations. Because let's be honest, we don't have the infrastructure of Dan Bongino, so our growth isn't going to be as quick as somebody like Dan Bongino. So I'm like, admittedly, I got a little short because I'm sick and tired. I've been intentionally avoiding, because I know I've been called the cuck of Rumble before and all that other stuff. I personally don't care about that stuff, but I'm just, if you guys see it, it's probably gonna start happening again, because it sounds like I'm sucking the dick of Rumble all over again. But it's the truth. I call it as I see it. I criticized Chris in his post about multi-streaming and people sleeping on Rumble. At the same time, him constantly showing that Dan Bongino is doing so well, and that's like the only time you ever see Chris brag about successes on Rumble. Yes, he has I drank too fast. He has been talking about gaming a lot more and how he wants to make gaming great again. And he had his team start up gaming on Rumble. So he's making steps to start promoting more gaming content, which to me is fantastic. But I just hope he doesn't get so wrapped up that gaming becomes another political category where that's the main focus. And everybody's like, I mean, I guess it won't be as bad because Twitch started off as a gaming only platform, and next thing you know, there's a bunch of other platform content on there. And YouTube started off on everything but gaming content, and now gaming content is growing drastically on YouTube. So as long as, and the reason why that is with them focusing on individual categories like that is because gaming isn't like politics. It's not as divisive. It's not as threatening. It is not as dominating. So if you're not into politics, you come onto a political platform, like you may not be left or right. You might be somebody that's completely oblivious to politics in general. And you come to Rumble, all you see is politics, politics, politics. And you just went through the same election season the rest of us went through, and we're sick and tired and done with it all. I'm not done with it, because I know the moment we stop caring is the moment they're going to start gaining ground again. But again, not everybody feels the same way as I do. So they come to Rumble and they see that everybody's like, Rumble's not a politics only platform. And you see Dan Bongino, Crowder, The Quartering, Russell Brand, and maybe one gaming creator right there, or maybe some random other content that wasn't there before. They're going to look at this as like, why am I going to come here? It looks like the only people that are successful on Rumble are political platforms. So anybody that does news or commentating or anything along that line, nobody's going to want to deal with that. A lot of people get into gaming to get away from politics. So they don't want to come home probably from a day of nothing but politics to get on a platform to find their favorite creator, and they just see politics shoved in their face all the time. Again, I'm not telling Rumble to remove politics from its platform. I'm telling them that they need to find a good, healthy balance at this point. So, I am critical of Rumble, but I'm also a realist. I'm not going to attack Rumble because everybody's like, you're defending a multi-million-dollar corporation. Yeah, because when somebody's a moron and they're lying, or they're over-exaggerating something, or they got an accusation that's not backed by anything, I'm going to call them out on it. Again, I still believe in Rumble. I still believe in what Rumble stands for. I'm obviously not going to people shit on Rumble for the sake of shitting on Rumble. I'm not going to be the cool kid that thinks they're part of the counter culture because I am so defiant towards the man. I'm not going to do that bullshit. If you're wrong, you're wrong. When I call you out, if I'm wrong, I'm going to admit I'm wrong, and I'll adjust course accordingly. So if I see you complaining about Rumble, and it's an accusation that seems unfounded, and you're not providing a lot of things backed up to it, and you're basically, it comes down to the reason why you're complaining is you're not succeeding on Rumble as you think you should succeed, I'm going to start digging into your content. If I'm going to look through your posts and it's just you bitching about Rumble nonstop for promoting other people's content and hardly ever your own, and if I go to your content on whatever platform you're currently creating on and you're barely awake, not engaging in chat, playing a boring game, and not making it exciting for your viewers, then I'm like, what? You have no room to ground on. stand on, or no ground to stand on, because basically what I see from you is you don't want to do any of the work. You want everybody to do the work for you. And I have no respect for people like that, because people like that is what's destroying this country right now. And I'm getting sick and tired of it. I'm not going to let you destroy every aspect of my life because you feel entitled to something. That's not how this works at all. Daramoth, I have not. Oh crap! I just got spilled beer. Hold on. Thank you for the rant. First of all, no, I have not seen that yet. I definitely will want to check that out in just a minute. But yeah, okay. So that kind of dish soap taste I'm getting is from the beer itself. It's not strong, but I don't even know if it's obviously it's not dish soap, but there's something about it that just soapy. It's chemically. It's I don't know what it is. I don't like it. I mean, the beer itself actually is really good if it wasn't for that aftertaste that kicks in. I want to save a can for my wife and see if she notices it. Maybe it's just me. Excuse me. But yeah, creators that have brought up valid criticisms against Rumble, and the ones I respect because they actually provide solutions, or they actually provide helpful feedback, or they're actually trying to engage and make things better, are people like Daramuth, Amish Zaku, JFG, and those are the ones that come off to the top of my head. They provide criticism, they also provide feedback, and they also put in the work into their own content. They're not just sitting there streaming a video game for 2+ hours and expecting the world to be handed to them. They're actually engaging with the community. Daramo specifically, he's constantly inviting creators onto his channel to talk to him and have conversations and discussions with them. He's actively engaging with those communities. He is reaching out to people. He's not sitting in his own little bubble expecting people to hand things to him. He's going out there and doing the work. He's constantly promoting it on his socials. He's constantly talking about it on his socials. He's making private and public invitations on his socials. JFG and Amish Zaku are constantly engaging in community nights. Like on Friday, we did a Halo night, one of the biggest community nights I've ever been involved with. 16 creators, I believe, is what it came up to. Technically more as we started swapping people in and out as time went on, because obviously people had to come and go. We had over 16 Rumble creators, and Halo overtook the new Call of Duty in category on Rumble on Friday night. I can't remember who shared that. Shout out to, I want to say it's Meister. I think Meister shared that. He might have commented on it. I can't remember. But shout out to that person for showing that like we overtook Call of Duty on Halo that night. And it was a blast. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of creators shouting each other out, giving each other crap, talking trash to each other, but still having a great time. Amazaku does his Tank Tuesdays where he invites everybody to come play. You just try to eat your own hair, you moron. Well, creators can come over and play some War Thunder. You don't even have to be a creator. It just invites you over to War Thunder. And Amish Zaku is absolutely passionate about War Thunder to the point where he's trying to get partnered with War Thunder through Rumble, and he's trying desperately to get the numbers and the grow in that regard so he can get War Thunder's attention and be part of their partner program. He also does other nights, like he's getting ready to do a why can't I think of the name? It's cars, soccer balls. What is that game? Rocket League. He's trying to do a Rocket League tournament. He's trying to do more Halo nights with Ohimark and Fused Ages. So as far as I know, Fused and Ohimark are the two that started the Halo thing. I could be wrong. Well, I know Ohimark is one of the biggest pushers of it because he constantly makes clips to, like, Ohimark is actually going in there, sifting through literally 4+ hours of these events, finding clips to edit and promote the next event on Rumble through Twitter. These are the people I respect. Even if they do complain about Rumble and don't provide feedback, I actually respect them more than the average person that just complains to complain, because they're putting in the work. So obviously they want to start seeing the work succeed, and they're actually trying the effort. Now, I'm not saying this is the case for these guys. I'm just saying in general, just because you put in the work doesn't mean you succeed. You could be You could be one. Um, you're just not finding that right niche that gets people's attention. You aren't as talented as you think it is. You got to think content creation is an oversaturated field right now. And there's thousands upon thousands, maybe even millions of people trying to make it big as the next giant content creator. Not all of us are going to be cut out to do it. Doesn't mean you need to give up. In these, you need to keep trying to prove you and yourself and your content. You need to find that next avenue to grow. Um, and there's always room for improvement. You need to study your own streams, find out where you're lacking in streams. Like I can tell you several things that are hindering me as a content creator, and especially my gaming streams, is my rage. My rage is definitely hurt me in my growth, because a lot of people don't want to sit there and watch a grown man yell at the top of his lungs at a video game. Nobody wants to see that. So I've been trying to work on my range. My excessive cussing. I don't personally have an issue with cussing, but now everybody wants to hear the F word every 5 seconds. I make stupid jokes and I get like a Tourette's or something in that joke, where I'll repeat the same joke multiple times in one stream thinking I'm being funny, but it's because I lack that creativity to come up with something original. So I just get like fixated on this one joke over and over again. So I've been working to be more original, more refreshing, not getting locked into these repeating lines over and over again. Like you can ask my friends that used to play with me all the time back in my early Twitch streaming days. I always was saying, your mom is this, your mom is that, your mom is this. And most of the time it didn't make sense. And that gets annoying and repetitive. Like I was annoying myself listening to my own streams. I look at creators that are being successful in and out of Rumble, seeing what they're doing to succeed, try to take notes, not trying to copy them, but see what I can take from what they've done to implement it to what suits me, for me, to make me a better creator. Another thing I see a lot of creators, I look at content creation kind of like dating. You're never going to really be successful in dating until you learn to be confident in who you are. And in this case, confident in your content. I'm confident in me. I'm very confident in me. I'm very happy with the life I have. I'm very happy with the things I have because of the life I built. I'm not perfect. I still got room to grow as a person. However, I struggle deeply with the confidence in my own content. And a lot of people, despite how hard you think you're hiding it, can see that. Now, there's also such thing as overconfidence. You think you're the next Dr. Disrespect, but you're probably absolute trash and probably one of the most annoying people on the internet. But it is partly because you're so overly confident in your stuff and not willing to accept criticism. Nobody wants to watch your content. So, like, I get frustrated when people come off as they're expecting Rumble to do all the work for them. Like, they want Rumble to pay them. They want Rumble to give them more. Rumble is definitely by far, and I don't care what anybody says. You can tell me I'm wrong, fine. I will entertain valid criticism. Rumble is the best platform for a small creator for the sole reason that you're monetized on day one. Everybody's complaining about this new partner program that Chris Pavlovsky is working on right now, which is going to be a more permanent partner program. Than what they feel that they should be getting in for this reason. And like, I kid you not, some people say, well, I stream only on Rumble, and that's the only time I ever stream is on Rumble. I don't stream anywhere else. I'm not these multi-streamers like everybody else. I stream only on Rumble, therefore I should be in the Rumble partner program. No, that is not a qualifying mark that makes you qualified to be in the partner program. It's not even one that makes you qualified to be featured. That is a sense of self-entitlement that is borderline delusional, because just because you're loyal to one brand does not entitle you to be promoted by that brand. If you're not doing anything to grow yourself, you're not showing any ambition, drive, or creativity, you're not going to get accepted. And these people are going to be the first ones calling out favoritism, view botting, overinflation of numbers by Rumble, and blah, blah, blah. They're going to constantly be these ones. And because they solely believe they should be being paid by Rumble for their time. And I disagree with that. A lot of the conversation in the promoted tweet I did today is we were talking about first of all, what's considered a small creator. And I understand my question was very specific and it left out a lot of factors that go into considering what a small creator actually is. And what is a small creator valid, or that is worthy of being accepted into a program like the small creator program? I understand I left a lot of out, like chat engagement, stream engagement, viewer count, average viewer, active viewers. Like, there's a lot of that needs to go into consideration. But a lot of these people that I'm mainly thinking about when I make these criticisms are ignoring that. They just see them as them and believe, regardless of how well they're succeeding in their streams on their own, they deserve to be in the small program. And that 100% disagree. And I'm getting sick of. I I guess one of the reasons why I get frustrated about seeing these people is because there are other creators that are actual legit creators that are worthy of those giving voices to these people. If these people cannot do the work themselves, we need to stop validating what they're doing because it just looks like petty trash all the time. And Rumble just looks like this petty, childless high school drama bullshit all the time because people are just bitching and moaning about the dumbest things. Rumble did screw up with phase 2 specifically of the creator program. I didn't pay that much attention to phase 1. It definitely came off as a lottery style selection process, which I really, really hope Chris learned from that and they don't do this time. There were definitely creators that accepted in the program that absolutely had zero business to be in there, whether they got caught stealing content, caught view body, or they were caught just harassing other creators in the program for the sake of having clicks, or they were caught like, even though they did not. So this phase 2 specifically, and I've used this person as an example a lot of people know who I'm talking about. I'm still not going to mention their name because they're trash, and they're also in a wrong group of people. This person bitched and moaned and groaned and complained despite being selected in the phase program and phase 2 because they were never featured enough. Everybody else got featured but them, and it's all because everybody sucks the dick of Rumble staff, and that's the only reason why that everybody else got featured more than they did, and blah blah blah. But there were specific rules laid out by phase 2. You had to have a certain amount of stream or certain hours of streaming every week that had to be solely on Rumble and Rumble only. You also had to promote your stream on every single social media platform that you had, that when you signed up and told Rumble that you have, to whenever you went live on Rumble during the program. This individual, I don't know if they multi-stream or not, but this individual never promoted their stream once the entire time about when they were in the program. The only time you saw them talk about Rumble is when they complained about Rumble. They still paid this person. Not only did this person violate the rules, this person also bitched and complained and insulted and harassed and attacked Rumble and the creators on Rumble because they felt like they weren't being treated well. And when I looked at this person's content, it was the same thumbnail every single time. Every single time. There was like three words in their title. There was nothing promoted on any of the socials ever at all about their content. I did see plenty of content from other people on their socials, but I did not see their content anywhere. And this is the type of people I'm sick of being validated by. I get it. I respect those who are trying to reach out and try to get feedback and try to help Rumble grow. So they reach out and give these people voices. But at some point, we got to learn to stop because these people are not doing anything to help. They're just absolutely taking everybody down with them because they're miserable people that are not willing to do the work themselves. And that's my issue. And like I said, I agree. Rumble made a huge mistake of doing what seemed to be a lottery style selection process for the creator program. They obviously they handpicked certain people for sure. The rest came up as a lottery system. Maybe they did actually take an in-depth consideration. They haven't been very transparent on that selection progress for phase 2. Again, I can't speak on phase 1. I wasn't that involved with phase 1, so I don't know a lot about it, so I'm not going to pretend to speak on it. Before we continue, I gotta use the bathroom real quick. This dog is wanting to go inside. He's starting to get a little chilly, so I'm gonna throw a jacket on myself, and then we'll continue the recording stream. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. I'll read through some recording. Those are watching the recording. I'm gonna read some of the chats before I start recording again, and that way I can acknowledge those guys that are in chat right now, and then I'll be right back. All right, guys, as you can see, it's gotten quite a bit darker since the last time I was recording. I apologize. It is winter. Sun is setting fast. The light I have set up supposed to provide additional light is not working, so you're just going to have to deal with the darkness and go from there. Some things I want to recap before I continue on the conversation about small creators and small creator program on Rumble, and then we'll wrap it up with a conversation about Dr. Disrespect and what I feel about the potential that Rumble is bringing Dr. Disrespect to the platform. One of the things, like I would talk about, you guys need, I think far too many people get too worried about everybody else but themselves. And they need to start focusing on themselves and stop worrying about what everybody is and is not doing. Um, like for me specifically, I talked about how I rage too much, I cuss a lot, I make stupid jokes that I repeat repeatedly. Like if anybody watches my Batman streams, I keep making jokes about a bat whenever I beat somebody up that had a bat in the game. It's the same joke over and over again. It's not a very funny joke. It's not a very original joke. Sometimes it doesn't even make sense. But I make the same damn joke every single time, and it's irritating to me. So I can only imagine what it does to the average viewer that is watching my stream. And these are the things I need to take note. Another thing is I'm very low energy. I'm very sucky at responding to chat. I'm trying to improve on it. I try to work on my wit and my humor a little bit more because I am not a great game player. Nobody's watching my stream for the sake of, that's not going to work, for the sake of skill level. Because I'm not a skilled player, not as much as I used to be. I lack the skill. So I have to rely on my creativity, my entertainment, and stuff like that. And if I can't improve in that, I won't make it as a creator. And now lucky for me, I have a career, that's about to give me a retirement. Then I can start another job and, still be living life for the most part, pretty well. Would I like to make more money in content creation? Yes. Would I like to be more successful in content creation? Yes. Would I like to get to the point where I can just make videos and stream all day for you guys, and just use it to supplement my retirement check so that I can make a decent living? Yes, I would absolutely like that. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. But I also got to be realistic that it is an oversaturated field, and it's gonna be next to impossible for you to make an actual honest living off of content creation. Almost every creator is gonna have to supplement that income some other way. Another thing that a lot of people fail to do that are wanting to make it big, they don't have merch stores. I barely have it. I have stickers, and the reason why I don't push my stickers anymore is I realized that it is way too expensive. Yeah, I'm charging like $3 a sticker, like $2.50 to $3 a sticker, but after shipping costs like $8. And these stickers, I mean, they're decent sized, good quality stickers, but who's gonna pay $8 for a sticker that's like that skinny and that long? I wouldn't pay $8 for that sticker. So I need to find other ways to do merch. Like I'm looking into doing some beer mug designs. I'm stealing that idea from Crazy Goffo. In fact, if you guys are looking at the thumbnail for the stream, if you look at the mug in the hand of the lizard dude, the Airconda, there's a little teaser of an idea I have for a beer mug. I'd be curious to see what you guys think of that kind of beer mug. And then one of the things I've struggled with that whole product line is because I want American-made mugs. I don't want just an American company that puts my label on the mug. I want the glass to be made in the USA. Which means my product is going to be more expensive, but I don't want to give Chinese commie companies all my money anymore. Obviously, I'm always going to fall into that trap, and I'm not going to be able to get out of it. But I want to reduce the amount of times I give money to Chinese companies, or foreign companies for that matter. I want American-made products to do better. I really do. So anytime I go for merch, I'm gonna go for as American as humanly possible. These for my companies I'm gonna use for my merch products. But anyway, enough about that. Daramo talked about something about the phase 3, if you will, the final phase of the partner program from Rumble. That brings up a pretty good point. He said in chat, he says, so one of that is new, we'll try a different, but believing it. So he says in chat, basically he's hoping that the next phase, the final phase of the partner program will be completely different. And they also actually learn from the selection process and do a better selection process. And it got me thinking about Twitch's program, which we'll also get into, again, why I think Rumble's a far superior platform for small creators than any other platform, which I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on. That's perfectly fine, but I'll provide my case and you guys can argue against it. But anyway, on the partner program, like Twitch, I can't remember what the requirements were for affiliate. You had to jump through hoops to get to the affiliate program, and then you submit your application in hopes they still approve you. For the most part, approved every single application. So I steamrolled my way through the affiliate program by just getting a lot of people on board that just sat in my stream long enough to get my average viewer count, because the average viewer count was the hardest thing that I had to getting into the affiliate program. In fact, even now, my average views on Twitch are less than 1 view per stream. So if I try to reapply the affiliate program, I'm not getting into it. I got the viewers, or I got the hour stream, I got the follower count, but I don't have the average viewers. Excuse me. So I would not be able to reapply. Not that I want to anyway. The moment I made affiliate, these people that helped me get there all but disappeared. And my average viewer on Twitch is less than one view per stream. And why would I expect? Now, Twitch doesn't pay you to be affiliate. They just offer you opportunities to be monetized through subs, bits, and now ad revenue. You get more ad revenue as a partner, I believe, but as affiliate, you get like a much smaller amount, but you still get ad revenue. Which, again, this is why I think Rumble is a far superior platform for small creators. You get, as of right now, you get 100% of your sub revenue the moment you start creating on Rumble. Now, people are like, I can't stream immediately on Rumble. Yes, you can. There's just different ways to go about doing it. You either pay for Rumble Premium, you verify your account through the verification process to make sure you're not a bot, or you get 5 or more followers. And then, like, you can make 5 channels and follow all 5 of your own channels, and that will count as your 5 followers to be able to stream. It's call that your baby's first steps to Rumble hack. Or you can, I already said, if you pay for premium, you do the verification, or you get the 5 followers. Those are the ways you can stream on Rumble. But otherwise, you can still upload, where you still get ad revenue through Rumble. But if you go the streaming route, you get sub and rants, and you get 80-20 of rants as long as it's done through the browser. People are bitching that Rumble's lying about it as a revenue split for rants. Well, if you rant through the app on Android or Apple, Android and Apple take a cut of that rant. So they will take a percentage. Rumble does not charge more for rants on their apps. It's the same fee. Like, Rumble has no fees. So Rumble will take their 20%, and then Apple takes, I think it's 3% or more. I can't remember. Apple and Google take 3% on their app store. So that, but if people, that's why when I rant to people, I do not rant through the app. I might be watching on the app. I will go out of my way to go on my browser on my phone, and I will rant through the browser to ensure all that money goes to Rumble, and then 20% of that money goes to Rumble, and the 80% go to the creator, and Apple and Google can suck my nuts and get not a single dime of that. That's why I'm personally against allowing subs on the app. I get the argument why people want subs to the app, because they may increase the chance of getting more subs to the app. However, your 100% sub revenue is going to disappear now, because now Google and Apple are going to take a percentage of that sub every month that person subscribes. Plus, it gets confusing depending on how it's done. Like on Twitch, I found out the other day, if I sub through the app on Twitch, I can't cancel that sub unless I go onto the app to cancel the sub. I can't go to my browser and cancel the sub. Unless they changed it. They might have changed it, because I haven't subbed to anybody on Twitch in a while. So I think Rumble's better. Now, the argument for the small creator program, the reason why I'm completely against lowering the bar so low, the reason why I was asking for the follower counts, what people consider small creators, and then I started, when people gave me the answers, if they didn't vote, or if they did vote and they still provided feedback, I asked them, how much would you be willing to pay this creator monthly in your creator program? And yes, again, I get it. When you're accepting somebody to the program, it's going to be more than just followers. But there was a point, because there were people that were complaining about not getting enough love from Rumble that had 0 to no creators. So that's why I was specifically focusing on our creators, 0 to no followers, or like little to no followers. So I was focusing on the follower aspect for a purpose. I know that it didn't make a lot of sense, but there's a reason for that, because I know followers does not make you a creator, because people can fake their follower account. They can actually fake their viewer account too. Some can fake their chatters too. They can fake their likes and dislikes. We already know about bots that go out there that mass dislike people's streams on Rumble, and I'm sure it happens on other platforms too. It's just easier to spot on Rumble, because Rumble is a smaller platform. in the community amongst gamers specifically is a smaller community compared to Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. And that's another thing I think a lot of people miss is like, it's so bad on Rumble. It's probably just as bad on Rumble as it is every other platform. The reason it seems worse is it's far more noticeable. That's just my opinion. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, if you agree or disagree with that thought process. But so the reason why I'm talking about the follower count, because like people say, well, if you're 0 to 1,000, you're a small creator, and I get why they put the mark so high or so low for the small creator, because Rumble, if you look at Rumble, and the biggest gaming creator is probably got what 45, 50,000, maybe 100,000 followers. I think Alexandra, I can't remember what she's at. I know she doesn't consistently stream on Rumble, but she streams on Rumble quite a bit. So I'm mainly using her as an example. I'm not using RiceGum or the other ones because they bailed the moment their contracts were up. So I don't consider them as legitimate creators on Rumble, which is part of the reason why. And I get people's concern about the new big creator because Chris says he wasn't going to do contracts anymore, he's kind of doing contracts with a small creator program because you're going to have to maintain a certain amount of requirements to stay in the program. So that's in a way a contract. I'm sure he's going to have some legal form for you to sign saying you agree to these terms to protect Rumble when somebody violates one thing or the other. But the reason why the reason why I started asking people when they provided what they consider a small creator based on followers alone is because, one, as Dara has pointed out, Chris hasn't really given a whole lot to the requirements. Now, he's mentioned like doing ad reads must stream through Rumble Studio. He's talked about that. There's certain viewership has to be maintained. And he did mention, but he didn't give specifics. But we do know a follower has been their favorite thing. The follower benchmark has been one of their favorite things for the previous creator programs. It was always based on followers. Both the first one I think was strictly Rumble followers. Second one was Rumble followers followers in and out inside of Rumble. So that's why I'm using another reason why I was using the Rumble or the follower benchmark for my question. So when people provided the responses, I asked them, how much would you be willing to pay these people? Because Chris paid us $500 for 1 month of streaming on Rumble. I don't think he's going to do that for the final phase of the creator program. I absolutely don't. I don't think that's realistic or believable. I don't know if he's actually going to pay him a monthly fee or salary at all. I'm just basing it off the previous two programs. He did mention that he's looking to have it available that they get a cut of the premium revenue that Rumble gets. I can't imagine it'd be very big because if we go based off what a lot of people saying it was 5,000 or less are considered small creators, and when I say less, because I kept specifically mentioning 0 followers, 5,000 or less, and nobody really pushed back on it. I only had a couple people that actually had a low cap and a high cap. I had one person say once you reach above a certain follower count and you're no longer in the small creator program, you should either leave the creator program or they said more ideally be moved into a higher tier of creator program, which I think is the logical step, in my opinion. You guys can agree or disagree. Chris was talking about potential of people getting a cut of the Rumble Premium. One thing some people suggest is that you can get more cut from Rumble Premium the higher the tier you are in. So let's say, and also another one, I think it was Cinema, you said this. It wasn't you, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody said that people that are just regular creators on Rumble go to like a 70-30 sub split, because ideally or realistically Rumble keeping 100% split for a sub revenue, it's not going to be able to last. They're going to have to eventually back off from that. But maybe for people like me who won't be able to qualify for the partner program, I would get a 70-30 split. And then those who are in the partner program get like an 80-20 split. And then if they do a higher tier, they get like a 90-10 split. And if you're in the God tier, if you will, you get a 100% split for your sub revenue. And then, because you're actually giving something to Rumble. One of my issues with a lot of these people complaining is they want to take from Rumble, but they don't really want to give. They claim they're giving to Rumble, when in reality, they're giving is playing kiss ass in the comments of Chris and Rumble posts. and getting upset and saying I stream solely to Rumble and getting upset when they don't get the notice me senpai moment that they've all been craving for. That's not giving to Rumble. That's just you sucking up and kissing ass, hoping you get recognized for it and get paid out for it. But outside of that, you're doing absolutely no work at all. So that's, again, my opinion on that. I know there are people that will disagree with me, and that's fine. You can disagree with me. I am not one for handouts. I'm not one for easy lanes. I'm not one for equality for all. I am one for that if you are not willing to put in the work, you're not worthy of receiving the rewards. If you're busting your ass and presenting good quality content, you deserve to be rewarded. And if Rumble's not going to get anything out of you, then why should Rumble pay you? Or I say pay you, I mean that by like either directly paying you or paying you through getting you giving a certain cut of revenue split. Another feature they were talking about, like better quality streams for people in the partner program. Now, right now, I believe it's 4K plus. Once it's out of beta, is planned to be available to everybody streaming. And with the low latency, where your chats are lined up pretty well with your stream, so you're not missing chats and people are missing key moments of your stream because they thought they commented at the moment it happened, but in reality, you're like 10 minutes ahead of when it happens. So by the time their comment pops up, you've already moved on and now you're completely lost to what they were talking about. That happens to me a lot in my stream. Or somebody will say something like, what are you talking about? And they talk about something that happened like 5 minutes ago. And I already forgot about it because I got the mindset of a ADHD retard. So, speaking of which, mindset of an ADHD retard. There's a couple other points I wanted to make, and I've already kind of forgot about them. We're going to go ahead and see what they are. Somebody messaged me. I don't know. Oh, okay. Dara, I see your post. We'll read that in just a second. I'm gonna go look at my bookmarks. I'm gonna look what Dara sent me. And by the way, guys, if you want to reach out to me, airconnetv at proton.me for all business inquiries, or if you just want to hit me up on Twitter. My DMs are completely open to everybody. If I'm not following you, your messages get thrown into a little different area. I almost always check because I know how many of those I have. I do get a lot of spam, but I know how many of those are spam. So if I see that number increase, I open it up, check to see if I got a new spam message or if I got a message from somebody that's actually trying to reach out to me. So those are the best ways to reach out to me. If you're part of the Travesty Chat beta, that's another way to reach out to me. You can hit me up on Discord. I do not have a Discord because I don't want to support Discord. I have a Gilded. I don't really check Gilded anymore, but it is open, so I get messages if you message me on Gilded. I just don't manage my community on Gilded anymore, which means I need to change my my tier for my tier list for people supporting Project Orion. All right, I've already shared it in chat once. Again, if you're watching the recording, it'll be in the description and then the pinned comment down below. I have a poll that I am promoting on Twitter up until Black Friday, which it will end. So I'm curious to see what you want to vote. Right, currently, 500 to 1,000 followers is considered a small program or a small creator that people will consider to be put into a small creator program. With second place being other, comment below. So everybody's providing their personal opinions. Quite a few people have done that one. I said anything below 5K is considered a small creator and be considered in the program. And they always say, well, that's including viewer count and average views. I get that. Again, I probably should have. I kind of baited people and I shouldn't have done that. The reason why I specifically harped on followers because the previous programs were mainly focused on follower count. And then a lot of people that claim that Rumble should give them everything they deserve is solely based off their following count and nothing more. So that's the reason why I only asked the question to talk about follower count in that regard. Now, one of the highlighted comments I had was from Patty's Parlor Games. He's a creator on Rumble. He does tabletop stuff quite a bit. So if you guys are into tabletop gaming, both in miniatures and stuff, like he actually paints miniatures. So if that's your kind of thing, I highly recommend you check out Patty's Parlor Games. His first response, small creator is who I consider to have 1,000 followers or less for the most part. So I responded and asked, if you were running running Rumble, would you pay those creators under 1,000 to be in your program, or would they hit a certain number of followers before they're considered for the program? I just lost it. If they break 1,000, would you remove them from that program or allow them to stay or move them to a higher tier? He responded with, and he is actually like almost word for word in line with my thought process between Rumble creators and the program that Chris is creating. I don't know. Again, I don't know what Chris has in mind, but if I was Chris, this is how I would run it if I was Patty. He says, no, I would not do any of that at all. I work hard at this, but this is not my job. If I want to gain some something financially from doing it, I'll marketing myself to other creators and creations within my niche. I make my money from my art, from my books. Rumble makes less money from me than I make from it. Between my own products and my wonderful companies that allow me to be an affiliate of theirs, I do not expect Rumble to pay me to stream. I do not participate and expect Rumble to market for me either. Their efforts are way better spent on stuff like power slap, skateboarding, esports, tourneys, and the like. I also think bringing people on like Dr. Disrespect, if that's the case, is very different than bringing on the personalities as before. I've seen more smaller creators get the Rumble bennies handed to them only to abscond, I probably butchered that word, with their goodwill once their deal was up. I look forward to Rumble's new creator program, making people earn it rather than winning it. A raffle or blind pick should not, blind pick should, I'm assuming not, or should net them more self-motivation and dedicated creators. I would be happy to expand on this once, but I was hoping he could make it, but he says he's busy today, and I was going to say, he was asking if I can do it tomorrow. I can't do it tomorrow, unfortunately. I told him I can do it probably because I'm going to do a follow-up to all this to see what the poll finalizes out and what other conversations pop up from this. So I'll do like another Let's Grab a Beer on Friday to discuss all this. But I think he hit the nail on the head. Nobody should go to Rumble expecting Rumble to give them anything. I don't care how much work you put in. I do understand those who have done a lot for Rumble and expect Rumble to at least acknowledge their hard work. I do understand that. But if you're just a random creator getting there like, oh, this is an easy buck for me, why is Rumble not noticing me more? Why am I not being getting featured as much as I think I should be featured? Why am I not a part of the program? Well, maybe because you should stop going to Rumble expecting Rumble to give you stuff, because you need to focus on you and you alone. And that's exactly what he's talking about. He's focusing on things that make him happy. He's focused on things that he wants to succeed at. And that's all he's worried about. If Rumble gives him stuff along the way, great. That's an added bonus. But he's not expecting anything from Rumble, because Rumble does have bigger fish to fry. And a lot of people don't like that. Sorry, that's just my opinion. And you don't have to like my opinion. Just like I don't have to like your opinion either. Welcome to the beauty of freedom of speech and freedom of expression. And then another jackass in his loud car. It's getting worse. It was never this bad. It's getting worse. And I agree with them. People should earn the creator program. They should not. And the earning is by standards that Rumble needs to set. They don't need to be like, well, I really like this creator. They didn't really meet the mark. I should let them in anyway. No. If I fully expect, if I do not meet the mark for Rumble, I'm not even going to apply for the program. If I do meet the mark, I'm obviously going to apply. But they better not pick me just because they like me. They better pick me because I actually qualified for that thing. Now, not everybody feels that way about me, because I don't want to say I succeeded because of handouts. I want to say I succeeded because I worked hard and earned it. Like I've earned my house. I've earned the vehicles I own. I earned the retirement I'm about to get. I don't want to find out that I was handed these things, because that would just piss me off and make me feel worthless and pathetic. I want to earn these things, and that's what I hope Rumble does with this program. It makes these people earn it, because he's right. People got in on Rumble's goodwill, got the money, got out and dipped, and haven't done shit for Rumble since. And that's what I feel a lot of these people complaining about Rumble not giving them enough are going to do. Once they feel like they got all they can from Rumble, they're going to dip out the moment something else and better comes out. Like Dara talked about this new party platform that's offering $1,000 for new creators or something like that. No, that's a fucking handout. And these people are going to be shit creators, and they're going to get depressed and miserable because they're going to realize that they're not succeeding. And then they're going to get dropped from this program because the party's going to realize they can't afford to give $1,000 to everybody that signs up to be a creator. I want to know I succeeded because I worked hard. Now, am I going to handicap myself every time like I said, when the partner program's out, if I feel like if I have met the requirements set up by Chris and his team, I'm going to apply for it. If I don't have it, I don't want to reach out. I'm not going to DM one of the staffers and be like, hey, I've been with you guys a really long time. I advocate you for all the time. I stream solely to Rumble and nowhere else. Can I get in the program? I'm not going to do that shit. They set goals that should be available to everybody, that everybody can obtain if they work hard enough for. If you don't obtain it, then you're probably not cut out to be a creator. I'm sorry. I'm probably not cut out to be a creator. I might be plateauing at my followers, and I may be stuck at 500 plus followers for the rest of my life. And I may never see above that in my gaming channel. It's something I'm going to have to deal with. That's reality. I don't get things handed to me. And that's my opinion on the creator program in general. I know a lot of people don't like hearing that stuff. They want to feel like Rumble is easy cash. It is easy cash. It's not a lot of money, but I'm making about $1 plus in ad revenue alone. And again, that's nothing to brag about, but if I do $1 a month, that's $12 that I didn't have before. You know what? That's $12 more than I get Twitch. Now, again, when I was on Twitch affiliate, I was getting ad revenue, and I never broke $1 on Twitch. So it's still more money than I'm getting on Twitch. If I'm going on ad revenue or alone, it's definitely more money than I'm getting on YouTube and Kick, because one, Kick has no ad revenue at all. YouTube, you have to literally saw off your leg and eat it in front of them to be able to get the ad revenue in the first place, or even the opportunity to get subs and super chats is, I think, their things. Again, why I believe Rumble is far superior for smaller creators than any other platform. You may not be succeeding, but the opportunity for you to monetize yourself as a creator is available, whereas it is not. I'm at 80 something followers on YouTube, my gaming YouTube, and what is it, 100 where you finally can apply for monetization? I can't remember what it is. I want to say it was 1,000 actually. I can't remember, because I don't care about monetizing on YouTube, because I don't believe in YouTube. I use YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and X as a means to help grow my product, to make me a better Rumble creator. That's what those platforms are to me. They are tools. I'm not saying that's what you guys should do. You guys should build yourself the way you should be built and be true to yourself. Be confident in you, be confident in your content, and you're going to probably succeed far better than you would. You can get featured on Rumble for 30 days straight, every single time you went live for 30 days, and only gain 30 followers. And then after that stop, you're going to be plateauing and doing that, maybe earning a follower a month. So being featured or getting handouts from Rumble does not mean you will succeed. Rumble cannot make sure every single one of us get featured every single day. That's impossible. They did it on Friday. A shit ton of gamers were featured on Friday at the same exact time, but they were only 4 of them or 5 of them were on the homepage. So guys, I don't know what you expect. You're not, if you're going to rely on Rumble to make you grow, whether or not they're actually doing something wrong, you are not going to succeed if you're going to fully rely on Rumble and its crew to make you succeed. You need to do the work yourself to succeed. I guess, actually, let me stop this recording, restart it, and then we're gonna go ahead and just move on. Dr. Disrespect, I'm not gonna talk long on him. All right, guys, it is officially dark out here, and my light still will not turn on. Sorry, I gotta adjust this. I just realized you're not really pointing at me. So you're gonna see me in the dark. Luckily for me, I'm white enough that I glow in the dark, and you at least can see my face because it's not covered. So at least I got that going for me. I just got caught up in chat real quick for the guys, because chat's been popping off and I don't want to neglect and ignore my chat, so I'm happy to see them in there. I was gonna look at what Daramuth sent me. Let's see. So Daramuth had a Rumble Squared podcast that he did yesterday with Vaping Gaming's JFG and a couple other creators. Those are the ones I mainly know. So, and there it is. Vaping Gamers, Heckin' the Way, Nicholas. I kind of like Heckin' the Way. That's a good name. Fat Steven, Kovori, and Zara, aka Zara, and himself, Daramuth. So he did like a kind of meeting notes, the way I view it in my head because of the job I have. Meeting notes from that podcast. So he added Chris, Rick, Rumble Video, Rumble Mario, and Gaming on Rumble. Then kind of gave him the talking points they kind of covered. And he said multiple platform reach, 40 viewers, Rumble/YouTube, stream via Rumble Studio. In fact, here, let me post this link in chat, which actually, Dara, you could have done too if you wanted. Zaza. Sorry, I said Zara. Zaza. Why does it keep switching to private? So here's his tweet if you guys want to check out what I'm reading right now. Let me get back up there. F features wanted 1/5 top results from creators community tab integration, enhanced creator tools / studio features, clip creation system. There is a clip creation system. It is janky as all get up. The best thing I do with the clip creation system in Rumble Studios is it only goes up to a minute. That's the only downside. It goes up to a minute and it doesn't always publish. So what I do, I make sure I download it first after I create my clip, and then I try to publish. If it doesn't publish, I can at least upload it myself. But they do need to fix the clip creation. And I also argue they need to make it longer than a minute. But I think they're setting that up for Rumble Shorts. I know those are coming eventually. So I think that's the purpose of the clip creation and studio right now. Better mobile experience. I don't have a lot to speak on that because I haven't used the mobile experience for Rumble Studios. Game subcategory expansion. That's going to be a tough one for them to do. Content filtering options. Rumble platform. Content filtering. Are you talking about for like the homepage so people don't see politics if they don't want to see politics? Kind of like what Kick does to remove the adult content for people who don't want to see adult content. Issues noted. So there's like 5. So issues noted. Current challenges. Notification system needs work. I've seen it does really well. Okay. So if you're relying on email notifications, it absolutely sucks ass, but that's also why they've been telling people to make sure they have the Rumble app downloaded, because that's where I get the best notifications when everybody goes live. Well, you know what? Hold on. I disabled all notifications. So I haven't been getting notified when people go live. I don't think. No, that's not true. I have been. I just don't get emails anymore. Because people go live like 3 or 4 times a day. I don't need an email every time they go live. TV app requires updates. What kind of updates? Studio connectivity concerns. I guess I haven't had any issue. The only issue I have with studio connectivity is if I somehow lose internet or my computer crashes midstream, I basically have to create a whole new stream and stop the one through Studios because there's no like auto recovery if you're able to reconnect in a certain amount of time. So that is something I would like to see fixed. I don't know what you mean by TV app requires update. I've used the TV app. The only thing is I wish it's like when trying to find channels, I wish it was in alphabetical order for my followed channels. I think they do it by live, and then after that, I think it's just completely random. Ad delivery refinement needed. That I don't know. I get ad-free experience, so I don't get to really see ads, so I can't comment on that one. Mobile app limitations. I know they just added emotes to iOS. Android had it earlier this week. It's now available on iOS, so that's one thing that's added. I know people want rants and subs on app. Rants are available on app. I disagree with the subs because, like I said, as I mentioned before, I don't believe in giving Apple and Google my money as much as I can avoid it. Again, not everybody feels the same. They're not fanatical like me, so Bandwidth streaming stability. I guess I haven't noticed that issue. The issues I have with streaming is usually because of my ISP and not usually because of Rumble. There's only a few occasions it was directly to Rumble, but most of the time when I have those issues is with my ISP or my equipment. Positive scene, 3 of 5 community highlights, welcoming environment, strong monetization. Those are definitely, I agree with both of those. Great growth potential. That's hit or miss. I guess it depends. Again, it depends on you as the creator, how much work you're putting in, effort you're putting in, how involved you get it. One reason why I grew so quickly on Rumble is how active I got with the Rumble creator community from day one when gaming started. That's a lot of that growth is because of my involvement with those guys. If you're staying in your little bubble and you're not promoting yourself or trying to get involved with the community, you're not going to grow unless you have that one viral moment that makes you take off. Supportive staff, they absolutely are. They are human though. They do miss things, and people take that out on. People highlight the negatives far more than highlight the positives because everybody loves negatives more than they love positives for some reason. Freedom of expression, absolutely good content discovery. It has improved. It definitely has. I don't know if it's quite up there with the other platforms, but it definitely has improves. Suggestions made, creator recommendations, OBS style studio upgrades. How are they gonna do that? You talk about in Rumble Studios itself. I mean, I see Rumble Studios as a means, not as the final tool. I mean, it'd be cool if they did something like that. I know they were talking to Streamlabs recently. I think it was Streamlabs they said they've been talking to get better integration with them. So hopefully you got that. Maybe that will solve what you're asking for. Enhanced mod tools. I don't care enough about mod tools unless I'm talking about adding polls and like mini games and stuff like that. That's fine, but I use bots for that stuff anyway. I don't mod my chat that much. I really don't, and I'm doing that on purpose. I don't censor my chat. Platform uniformity. I censor bots, like legitimate bots. I will censor them for my chat. Platform uniform desktop mobile. I don't know how you're going to do that. Like, Twitch doesn't even have uniformity in their desktop and mobile. Neither does YouTube. So I don't know how they're going to... I guess I don't know what you mean by that. Like, Twitch, I fucking cannot stand the Twitch app. I want to do something where Rumble, I can at least do stuff as a creator through their apps. YouTube, I can do stuff as a creator through their apps. Twitch, you can't do shit through their apps except live stream. I would like when I try to pull up one of my unpublished videos, I can't do that. I can't stand Twitch's mobile app. I hate their mobile app. I don't even have Kick's app because the Kick is just a carbon copy of Twitch. I think Rumble's is far superior compared to Twitch and Kick when it comes to the mobile app, in my opinion. I know there's a lot of people that are going to go off in chat saying they completely disagree. Better analytics. Yes, I agree with that, but Rick and Chris both leaked a beta version of the Better Analytics that are supposed to be coming before the holidays. Before Christmas, so hopefully we get that soon. That's what it would help my... I don't know if you guys see my little Excel tracker I've been building lately. API expansion, I'm not smart enough to speak on that. I think the API is pretty good, but I'm also, again, not smart enough to speak on that, so I'll just leave that one alone and not criticize or comment. More payment options. Yes, I would like to get away from PayPal. Please let me stop using PayPal. I know the Stripe integration is coming soon. And I think something with parallel economy is also coming soon. 70 plus unique data points collected. 7 creators participated. Top priority. Studio improvements. Most praised. Community support. Most needed mobile app overhaul. I guess I don't know what you guys mean by mobile app overhaul. This goes back to not providing... I know in your stream you're providing specifics, but in the summary there is no specifics on the mobile app overhaul. Like, I don't have any issues with the mobile app. Maybe I'm just a boomer. Maybe I like the simplicity of the mobile app. I don't know. I don't know. This is... I try to avoid conversations concerning the app because I just don't see what everybody else is seeing, and maybe it's because I don't use it enough. Like, I spent the whole week last week watching Major League Fishing, the tournament they just had, and I had no issues with their app or any complaints about their app. So maybe I'm just not with it to comment on that one. So that when people bring up the mobile app, I tend to not comment on it. If I see people flooding my timeline with bitching about mobile app, I will mute them so I don't have to keep seeing it in my timeline. All right. I'm going to go ahead and like and retweet this so other people can check that out, because there's obviously people that are going to have a lot of opinions on that, and I want them to be able to share their opinions, as they should. I'm not one to stifle opinions. All right, so we covered, that was kind of not on the schedule for what we're going to talk about in this episode of Let's Grab a Beer. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I talk about Dr. Disrespect too. And then summarize basically this whole conversation I just had in this recording today. But essentially, I believe it's Dr. Disrespect that's the big creator that Chris keeps teasing about. Dr. Disrespect himself has kind of teased it a little bit, apparently on his YouTube streams. We'll find out next week, supposedly. I believe if he's doing the interview with Lumpy and Silver, he will next week. That is when Chris is going to announce who the big creator is. I'm glad that Chris is looking for a big creator outside of gaming. Unfortunately, I'm a little hesitant because we all saw what happened with LGaB. Steve will do it. Kai and Sanat, Kai and Speed and other creators. They got their money. The contract ended and they dipped like bitches. So I'm not holding my breath. I completely understand why Chris doesn't want to do contracts anymore. I don't think he's doing a contract with Dr. Disrespect. I think what he ended up doing was reaching out to Dr. Disrespect, seeing how Dr. Disrespect was being mistreated by the other platforms, and say, hey, you come to us, you're gonna have the freedom to be yourself, do your thing, do your whole Dr. Disrespect stick, and not be criticized, punished, or hindered against it. We won't do anything to hinder you, as long as you, obviously, Chris is going to always uphold the law, and like the actual law, not these bullshit freedom of expression and freedom of speech laws that all these other countries are enacting. As long as he doesn't do anything violent, he doesn't actually sexually assault or rape anybody or anything like that, or isn't actually a pedophile, Chris is never going to stop him from being him on. So, and I think Dr. Disrespect likes that. Dr. Disrespect, I think, is desperately yearning for a platform where he can just be him and not be afraid of being attacked and hindered. I believe Rumble absolutely offers that. I think that's the appeal that he's offering to Doctor. Doctor is agreed and is coming. Will he sign a contract? Who knows? Maybe he will. Maybe he's going to sign on. The $30 million or the $1 million contract or whatever contract that see like Drama Alert posts, they're living to the name. They're Drama Alert. They don't provide facts. They do rage bait, clickbaity bullshit because they know it gets the responses. Like they were saying that Neon was getting a $30 million contract with Rumble, which is absolute bullshit. Neon can come to Rumble. I don't want him here, but he can come to Rumble all he wants. Everybody's welcome. But I'm also gonna I'm not gonna harass the shit out of him. I'm gonna mostly highly criticize the fact that Neon is here, because I don't respect him as an individual. I have my reservations about Dr. Disrespect. Even if he didn't physically get involved with a minor, he knowingly spoke to a minor in an inappropriate manner. That is an issue with me. The issue, but his response was also very vague. He said knowingly spoke inappropriately to a minor. Now, is it that he knowingly spoke inappropriately to this individual and then later found out they were a minor? I don't know. Because I trust him more than I trust the Twitch staff, because I think Twitch staff are absolute human garbage. If they don't get their way, they're spoiled little brats, and they're gonna do anything they can to burn everybody down to get their way. So I believe that's what's happening to Dr. Disrespect. I do believe Dr. Disrespect advocating and promoting Rumble will be absolutely huge for Rumble. It is something that Rumble desperately needs. If Dr. Disrespect actually is loyal to Rumble, contract or no contract, I think he's a better pick than Kai, and I think he's a better pick than LGaB. He has a bigger following. From what I understand, when Dr. Disrespect thinks he's found a home in the platform, he's very loyal to that platform. I do question his loyalty because he has cheated on his wife. That is a confirmed fact. I question anybody's loyalty that has done something like that. but I also believe in redemption. If he truly has learned his lesson and has learned to not repeat the same mistakes, I will. I can like forgive. I'm not the one that needs to forgive him. It's obviously his wife and his family that needs to forgive him. But I hope you guys are understanding what I'm trying to say. I would forgive him and accept him for that, because we all make mistakes. We all do stupid shit. The key is, do we actually learn from it? That defines you as an individual. It defines you as a man if you actually learn and grow from that. I won't hold it against him if he's actually done that, but he has proven to be, from what I've seen of him. I haven't watched his content. I'm not that super loyal to Dr. Disrespect in any way, shape, or form. He appears to be very loyal to the platforms that give him a space to be him. But again, I question loyalty because of him cheating on his wife. Hopefully he has learned from that. Hopefully he is not an actual pedophile. If he is, obviously I will condemn that. I say condemn that in every way, shape, and form. And Sneeko, yeah, I was saying Neon, Sneeko. I think I was saying Neon, but yeah, Sneeko. I don't like Sneeko either. I welcome Dr. Disrespect to Rumble. I think he would be good for Rumble if it's handled and managed correctly. I suspect that he will heavily promote Rumble. I don't think he will leave YouTube. Rumble would just be the one he'll talk about the most. It'd be featured more in his backgrounds and all his little skits and stuff he does. I'm sure he'd be actively involved with Chris quite a bit. And then YouTube would be kicking themselves in the ass for not being more accommodating to him. I hope he doesn't sign a contract, mainly because, one, Rumble has been, here, I'm mixed on that one. So I think it'd be stupid if Rumble doesn't force him to sign, or not force him, if Rumble doesn't have some kind of legal contract in between the two of them, if that's depending on how this is all going. And I'm also a little disheartened if Chris truly did say, I never heard him say it, but I've seen 2 or 3 people say it now. If Chris truly did say that he will never do a contract again, and he's about to do a contract with Dr. Disrespect, it makes me lose a little respect in Chris, because he backed on his word, if that's in fact what he actually said. However, I think it's also stupid to not do a contract with somebody like Dr. Disrespect, because you're still setting yourself up for another kind. I say that unless Chris is not paying him, unless the only agreement between him and Chris is that Chris will not penalize, punish, or persecute Dr. Disrespect on his platform. Dr. Disrespect will have a platform where he can be himself. That's the only thing that they shook hands on and agreed on. He doesn't need a contract. If money was exchanged, Chris absolutely needs a contract. If they just have a gentleman's agreement, like, hey, if you come to Rumble, we're going to promote you in all our promotion material. You're going to never be persecuted or condemned on our platform. You can be yourself. If that's all that happened, then no contract needed. If money was exchanged, absolutely contract should be included. Yes, it's a little disheartening to hear somebody say I'll never do contracts again, and he absolutely does contracts again. But in his defense, everybody he's done contracts with leave the moment the contract is over. So Rumble cannot sustain itself as a platform if that's what keeps happening. And I guess that's all my thoughts on Dr. Disrespect. I personally think it's good for Rumble, especially to break out of the political aspect. The only issue is it still falls in line with this right-wing mentality that everybody has about Rumble. A lot of people view Dr. Disrespect as right-wing. So they're going to treat him as such, and they're going to see, this just proves the fact that Rumble's right-wing. If you're not right-wing, you're not welcomed on Rumble, which is a lot of shit. A lot of non-right-wing people have been on Rumble. Destiny was actually very active and featured quite often in Rumble. I can't stand Destiny. I think he's a disgusting human being, but I also believe in his right to be on the platform and succeed on the platform. So, thank you, Darmoth. If you're late waiting to call in, I apologize. These go long. I ramble on long enough. But to summarize the stream, I don't respect people that expect handouts from Rumble. Just because you stream solely on Rumble does not mean Rumble owes you anything. The only person that's holding you to streaming only on Rumble is yourself. So you're yourself to blame if you are being held to one account or to one platform. holding Rumble hostage because you're not getting your way is also another way to lose respect. And the only person that's going to make sure you actually succeed as a creator is yourself. If you're not willing to put in the effort or the energy or the work to make yourself succeed, you're not going to succeed. The Rumble can do everything they can to make you succeed, but if you're not a good creator, you're just not a good creator. So if, again, relying on Rumble is a dumb thing to do. Don't do it. Small creator program. I think I feel Rumble's making good decisions in that direction, as long as they truly did actually learn the lessons for phase 2 and phase 1. And hopefully they actually vet their people that are approved better, and they actually offer something of substantial value to those people that get accepted. Because right now, I mean, the reason why people get into affiliate or is it affiliate on YouTube? I don't remember what YouTube calls it. Is because they want to be monetized. Well, you're monetized the moment you set up on Rumble and start creating. So I don't know what Chris plans to offer people accepted into the program. Which is also why I don't fully understand why people complain about how the program was meant. Now, when they was giving $500 a month, or $500 for the month of streaming, I get why people are upset, because you get paid $500 to break the rules and be an absolute shitbag. So I get that complaint. But if Chris is not going to be paying them a monthly salary, and they're not really, I mean, I'm sure they're going to get benefits. I don't know why people are upset about this, about the new program, unless they actually did not learn any lessons. And then Chris is going to give these people in the programs like leaps and bounds benefits over everybody else. But I mean, everybody else has the same opportunity to make bank on Rumble as anybody in the partner program. You just got to be willing to put the work in it and promote yourself. Now we're going to give our final rating on the beer. I need to wrap it up because I don't know if people are waiting to call in. By the way, we drank out of our wicked good pub glass from Maine, great for sodas, beers, and hot liquors. We have a beer in here right now from Alabama, which is ironic. 28th Maine beat the 13th Alabama, 12th Alabama at Gettysburg. I probably got the Alabama regiment wrong on a little round top. Just saying. But the beer is actually pretty good. That soap taste is gone, so I don't know where I was getting it from. And maybe it was the glass, maybe it was the beer, but I don't taste it anymore. The beer is really good. We're down to 3 cans. I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. Sorry, no, we're doing scale 6. I get a 4 out of 6. It's pretty good. I'd drink it again. Downside with these, they're a little pricey. It's $13 for a 6-pack. That's like anything for a microbrewery. But if you guys enjoyed this, these streams are never scheduled, barely announced in advance. With the exception, like I said, this Friday I'll be doing another one. The Friday after Thanksgiving. If you guys are watching this in the future, I'll be doing another one. I don't know what time yet. Probably around 1 in the afternoon. My wife will be at work, and I want to make sure I'm done before she gets home from work. She'll probably come home early on that day because it's the day after Thanksgiving. So around 1 in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time, we'll do another episode of Let's Grab a Beer. We're going to recap what we discussed because the poll will be finished on Twitter. If you want to check that out, look up Aircon TVT on Twitter and drop it a follow, and you can go find that poll and you can vote in it. It's a promoted tweet right now. And I appreciate you all being here. Darmouth, Goffo, Cinema, FP, Chad, all the main ones I've been talking in chat tonight. I appreciate you guys are for hanging out. If you're still here, I appreciate you being here. If you're not still here, or if you're waiting to call in, if you're in chat still and want to call in, I'm going to drop the link in chat again. You have to have a Rumble account to be able to call in on Rumble Studios. You do not have to have a webcam. You just need to have a mic and your favorite beverage. But in the meantime, everybody watching the video that is recorded right now, appreciate you all coming in, and I hope to be able to grab a beer again with you next time.